Mexico is a serious country. It is Earth's 13th biggest by area, 10th by population, home to 130 million people, which does not include a colossal diaspora, and generates the world's 13th largest economy by GDP. Mexico has a reasonably formidable military able to field, between full-time troops and reservists, nearly 500,000 people, and this is to say nothing of 2 federal police forces and 32 state forces, accounting for nearly 500,000 more, in some sort of state-issued uniform or other. And yet, this week, Mexico has been brought significantly to a standstill by a gang of outlaws. Schools and airports and businesses have been shuttered, people frightened to leave their homes and, or in some cases, not terrifically keen on staying in them, ditto tourists hunkered anxiously in besieged hotels. Checkpoints and burning vehicles have blocked roads. In several cities, the criminals have declared and imposed curfews. In at least one, the resort of Puerto Vallarta, a prison has had its doors rammed open, freeing inmates. Dozens of people have been killed in the violence. Mexican authorities have responded. Soldiers are on the streets in most of Mexico's states. The president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has stated that order has been restored, though that is, of course, an implicit acknowledgement that order was abrogated. It may seem, because it is, an absolutely bizarre situation for a serious country to find itself in, especially when said country is about 15 weeks away from hosting the inaugural kickoff of a World Cup. Guadalajara, the state capital of Jalisco, epicenter of this week's drama, is scheduled to host 4 matches. On Sunday, Mexico's National Guard, a paramilitary police force similar to Spain's Guardia Civil or Italy's Carabinieri, launched an operation to seize Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, better known and widely feared as El Mencho, head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, a wealthy, well-equipped and notoriously ruthless drug trafficking enterprise. The cops followed El Mencho to an assignation with a paramour in Tegalpa in Jalisco state. A ferocious shootout occurred in which 25 National Guards were killed, along with 30-odd members of the CJNG, among them El Mencho himself. 1 civilian also died in crossfire. The nationwide mayhem which ensued was the CJNG's vengeance, and perhaps a promise of further such to come. Before addressing the potential wider repercussions, which are considerable, we should look at who El Mencho was and what the CJNG is. The late and largely unlamented El Mencho was 59 years old, a career drug dealer, a repeat illegal migrant to the United States, and as a young adult, a frequent guest of various American slammers. At the age of 30, after being paroled from a 5-year stretch in the Big Spring lockup in Texas and deported back to Mexico, he made the apparently unlikely career move of joining the police. Possibly because this didn't pay as well as dealing coke, he made himself useful to the Milenio cartel and married one of its senior figures, Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia. The Milenio cartel split sometime around 2009 after various mishaps befell those in charge. El Mencho steered the CJNG into the gap in the market. He did so profitably and violently. Even informed estimates of CJNG's revenues are necessarily guesswork. They do not file regular accounts, but all run into the billions. The atrocities perpetrated by CJNG to scare off rival gangs and law enforcement alike are better documented, but not recommended reading for the squeamish. The CJNG's arsenal swelled to include not just light automatic weapons, but heavy-caliber machine guns, armored vehicles, mines, and drones, all wielded on occasion by unabashedly uniformed guerrillas. When Mexican authorities tried to run El Mencho in back in 2015, his comrades shot down an army helicopter with a rocket-propelled grenade. In 2020, a CJNG hit squad tried, though failed, to murder Mexico City's chief of police, Omar Garcia Harfuch, by shooting up his car in the middle of the morning on Avenida Paseo de la Reforma, roughly Mexico City's equivalent to the Champs-Élysées. Harfuch now serves in President Sheinbaum's cabinet as Secretary of Security and Citizen Protection. El Mencho is not the first drug lord to have been killed by Mexican authorities in recent years. It is fair to assume that he, his colleagues and rivals accept this prospect as an occupational hazard. Cutting the heads off various snakes, however, has never stopped the bodies from twitching, or indeed regenerating. The offing of one cartel leader often prompts further violence as factions within the gang fight for control. El Mencho's demise can nevertheless be chalked up by President Sheinbaum as a win, both in and of itself, and in perhaps somewhat placating US President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly threatened that the United States will act against the cartels if Mexico does not. Security Secretary Harfuch has also extradited 92 senior Mexican cartel figures to face charges laid by American courts. Trump is also entitled to claim this much as a result. However, short of the United States' countless drug users deciding en masse to cease enriching some of Earth's worst people, decisively extirpating the cartels is a daunting prospect. Other developed countries have had difficulties with non-state paramilitaries. To cite but a couple of examples, the United Kingdom with the IRA, Spain with ETA. And although both those organizations engaged in drug dealing, it was a means, not an ends. An ideologically motivated terrorist group can be encouraged or coerced into a conversation. Mexico's drug runners just want to run drugs and remain able and willing to fight anyone who seeks to stop them. For Monocle Radio, I'm Andrew Muller.